All right, welcome back, guys. Our fourth week out of 8, and it's really exciting. We've been on the tee for the first few weeks, getting the ball up in the air and smacking it pretty good. We're going to get it down on the grass a little bit today, and I think you'll find that once we have a little bit of experience and give you a couple of key thoughts, getting the ball off the grass won't be that hard. It's no different than putting or hitting shots off the tee. It's just a learned skill, and we'll be fine. So just a couple of things about safety before we get going. I have the ball set up in a strategic spot for us already, and you can see Gord being the only righty in the group. We're going to put you at the far left-hand end so you get to look in and be social, and that way it's safer. And certainly if some balls happen to go out, a few feet out in front of the range, we'll just leave them there. We have lots more balls if we need them. So let's hop into your stations, if you will. Gord will get you down at that end. And keeping with sort of how we been doing our group lessons each week, I just want to give you maybe 3 or 4 shots to hit and just sort of explore a little bit and kind of make your way through hitting them off the grass. It's a new experience for you guys. So let's go ahead and hit 3 or 4 shots, and then we'll get started. Yeah, we don't need, when you're on the driving range, replacing your divots. We actually talked about a little bit about that last week, and I see Carol was going to sort of do her due diligence and replace the divot. So there's no need on the driving range to do that. We'll just do that on the golf course. Good. So at the end of last week, there was a bunch of great questions about some of the stuff we talked about the first few weeks in terms of how to stand at it, how to hang on to the club, and I was actually really excited to hear some great questions. And it seemed that you were pretty comfortable with that at the end of the week. And I just want to make sure that I know a number of you have been out hitting balls at the range. I've seen you here and at the golf course. I want to make sure that any questions haven't popped up, at least on the information that we've covered thus far in the first few weeks. Are we pretty good in that area? Anything pop up? Mostly okay? All right, so the idea for today is really one of balance. And we talked about balance on the tee and stuff in terms of when you're swinging the club. But what I want to do is just ensure that when you're swinging the club, especially when the ball is on the ground, that your balance really finishes forward. And when I say forward, I mean on the leg that's closest to the driving range. So for Michelle, Carol, and Craig, it's going to be on your right leg, and for Gord, it'll be on your left leg. So we can talk a little bit more about that more in a minute, more specifically. But again, it looks more like this when you're swinging here, that your balance is finished on your right leg. That's going to help give the club, without getting the specifics of the details, sort of the angle that it needs to make a good strike at the ball and get it to fly up in the air. So let's hit a few, just really trying to ensure that the balance finishes on your right leg for most of you, and the left for Gord. Oh, that's perfect, Michelle. Good. So Craig, does that feel different for you? Because I know the first couple of weeks, sometimes your balance was inconsistent, you were falling back and forth. Like, what does that feel like now?
More athletic.
More athletic, yeah. You can create more power. Yeah, good. There's some power, Carol. Gord, good, guys. Excellent. So you might feel like the club is moving a little bit faster than it has before. It might feel a little unbalanced, even though you're trying to keep your balance more because it's kind of new. That's okay, good. Excellent follow through, Carol. That's it. So again, you may find yourself wobble a little bit back and forth, and that's okay. Good. So I'm just going to come down with Craig. I'm just going to get you guys to turn this way for a minute. I'm just going to borrow Craig's station. And just to be sure that we're talking and looking the same, I was going to hit 2 shots for you just to give you a sense of what it might look like, just so you can maybe try and associate some of the feelings you're having with what it might look like. So again, I'm set up. My balance is, equally distributed, 50-50 on both legs, like we talked about in the first couple of weeks about getting set up. And when I swing back, all right, as I go forward, my balance is on my right leg because I'm a left-handed golfer, but what we call your target leg or your forward leg. Again, you being able to be very balanced and very secure. You've watched golfers on TV, and that's kind of the traditional golf look that you'll see. All right, so we don't do it just to be vain, to look like golfers. That's part of it, I guess. but more importantly, it allows the body to swing forward and to be in good balance. Okay, so maybe let's just hit a few more before we wrap up. Good, that posture is really good, Michelle. You can tell you've been working at it a little bit. That's the same stuff we did in the first couple of weeks. That's good. Yeah, good, Gord. I know it's a little off topic, but you see the ball curving a little bit to the left. That's because of the grip that we've been working on. That's really good how you're holding it so well. Excellent. So hopefully in the next couple weeks or the next week or so, you get a chance to get to the golf course, maybe play a little bit. Some of you have been using tees when you've been playing on the golf course, which is absolutely fine. We want you in the game and enjoying it. But maybe there's an opportunity to hit a few shots off the grass at the driving range or on the course. So certainly feel free to do that. Come back with some questions, some thoughts for next week, and we'll continue and make sure to do a good review next week, and we'll be good. Everything all right? Great. Thanks, guys. Okay.